pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. This is Monday, November 14, 2022. I would welcome you to our special County Commission meeting for certifying the results of the elections. I would remind you to silence your cell phones. The meeting documents are around here somewhere. And if you're going to speak, make sure you sign in with your name and address on the sign-in sheet. And I think that's it. I'd look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll have a special commission action. I did that. Item number 1 is consider a motion to certify the results of the November 8, 2022 general election. Ben.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ben Kite, Auditor's Office. Here today to present to you our canvass results for the November 8th general election. We've given you several documents to reference. We do have a county canvassing board procedures that kind of helps you understand your roles and responsibilities. We will have reports, our canvass reports from our voter registration list. We will have our tapes from by precinct over there. We'll have poll books, registration lists for your review, and then after all that, we'll look for a motion to accept the results. But I thought I'd give you a summary of the election. Today we will report on the November 8th general election for Minnehaha County. A total of 75,579 ballots were cast, representing about 57.8% of the total registered active voters in Minnehaha County. The Auditor's Office reviewed the results of each race and reconciled the canvass report presented to you today to the control reports from the electionware system. As a result of this review and our reconciliation, I'm confident that the results we're presenting to you today are accurate. Results we provide you today do include adjustments for provisional ballots that were not included in the vote count that was reported on election night. Those adjustments include provisional ballots that were received and validated and included in the count. These adjustments did not have any impact on the outcome of any races involved. So we received a total of 13 provisional ballots, and after our review, it was determined that 9 of those were valid. Counting of the ballots took approximately from about 7:30 in the evening until about 3:30 a.m. or about 8 hours. To be in full compliance with state statutes, we are unable to begin counting of the absentee ballots until the polls closed at 7 p.m. That statute required the county auditors to notify the political parties at least 10 days before the election if they're going to begin counting absentee ballots prior to the close of the polls. We notified the parties 9 days prior to the election. So I would estimate that change may have added about 2 hours to our counting time. The tabulating machines worked well without any material issues. No material issues were identified with the processing of the ballots in the general election. So in preparation for the general election, the Auditor's Office did make several changes to the process to hopefully address problems that were encountered in the primary, as well as add overall improvements to the process. Some of the examples of the changes that were made to address the issue of providing incorrect ballots to voters located in split precincts with 2 legislative districts. We adjusted the training sessions so that we spent about a third to half of the class time on how to correctly identify the ballot that should be given to the voters. We also color coordinated the ballot wrappers that the ballots were shipped in so that the election workers could clearly see that the ballots were different from the others. And then we also asked the election workers to record the legislative districts of the voter along with the voter names in the poll book. This was intended just to serve as another reminder that there could be more than one ballot to choose from. And I think for the most part, we believe these efforts significantly reduce that issue. Other process improvements we made were we tried to intentionally overstaff polling locations in anticipation of election workers calling in sick or unable to work. We thought a location, they needed 5 workers. I tried to assign 6. If we had 15 I think we had about 15 workers cancel that week leading up to the election, and this overstaffing helped to address that issue. We offered online election worker applications. That was a great help. We received about 270 applications from the online application. This allowed us to greatly improve our pool of election workers. We reached out to other organizations, letting them know that we could use help. We received several new workers from organizations like Active Generations and other veterans organizations. And we had fully identified election workers for polling locations about 3 to 4 weeks prior to Election Day. We continued to receive applications from voters asking to work. We didn't turn any of them away, but instead asked them to be alternates in the event someone would cancel. Additionally, we would assign them to absentee boards to help open the absentee ballots. This turned out to be a good strategy as it allowed us to build a pool of replacement workers. We asked anyone that agreed to be an alternate to also attend the election worker training so that they could be prepared to go to the polls and work. We had about 50 alternates attend election worker training. In addition to the 350 assigned election workers at the polls, this process also allowed us to staff about 100 absentee board members that were all needed to open and process approximately 17,000 absentee ballots that we had received. I hired 12 part-time staff to help with the processing of absentee applications, voter registrations, nursing home absentee voting, and in-person absentee. Again, I think I could have doubled that number and I could have used them all if I would have had a place to put them. It was just, there's a lot of volume that came in. In total, I used between 450 to 500 people to work on some portion of the election process, and each of them helped make this election a success. So that's kind of the summary of the election. I would also, I'll note, over the weekend there was an article about Tripp County's hand count, and I read some information on that, and I think I understand what the issues were. For what I read, that they did a hand count of their ballots, and they compared that to their tablet machine ballots. That process, where they used the controls when they did the hand count, it appears, but didn't use the control process that is used to in the tabulating machine. So when we count ballots at the end of the night, the ballots come in from each precinct. The precincts provide us a recap sheet, which tells them how many ballots that they received, and then they have how many ballots are left over at the end of the night, the difference being the ballots used. We reconcile those to each one of those precincts as we count to make sure that we have counted the right number of ballots, right? That's the control process that's used across the state. So what I understand when I read the information on the Tripp County, when they counted using the tabulators, they didn't use that control process. Since it wasn't the official ballots, they used the control process when they hand counted, but not when they used the tabulators. So they missed about 75 ballots. If they would have been using the control process that they used during the hand count, they would have saw that they had undercounted those ballots, and they would have been caught right away. So now that's the impression I get from reading the article. It wasn't that the tabulating machine missed them. It's just that the humans, this is after this is about 5 o'clock in the morning, right? They worked till about 5 o'clock in the morning, much like we did. I think they just missed that part of it. So I just want to make sure that if the people are concerned about hand counting being more accurate, I think it was more a human error from what I saw, and not having a control process consistently for the hand count and the tabulating count. It in Tripp County. So I think those are my comments on the election. Any questions before we proceed?
Commissioner Barth.
Thanks, Ben. I do have a couple, just for the public's benefit. Sometimes people get a wrong ballot or make a wrong mark in that ballot. They bring it back and they say, I ruined my ballot, can I have another one? So there's a few of those that happen, right? So when you reconcile, those have to be accounted for.
Right. So we have in our case, what we do is we have a special envelope for what we refer to as spoiled ballots. So you're given a ballot, maybe you marked it differently than you wanted to. You go back to the election worker, they can give you a new ballot but we then record that spoiled ballot separately. We put it in a separate envelope, and it's all part of a reconciliation.
So did you have many of those?
I assume that we did have some. I didn't count those, but yes, I mean, we always have some of those.
Also, could you define further a provisional ballot, just so people that might someday view this could remember how to do this?
So a provisional ballot is when you are at the polls, a situation arises where either you're not on the poll list or you're not on the registration list, or you insist that you should be able to vote for some reason. The election worker needs to contact the auditor's office. We go through our review process and determine if that person can be given a provisional ballot. So what the provisional ballot is that it's a regular ballot. There's nothing special about it, but that voter would then have to fill out a special envelope that gives them their name and information why there's a request for the provisional ballot. They're then given a ballot. They vote that ballot, and then you have to fold that ballot up and put it in that blue envelope. So that's how we separate it. So then that blue envelope goes in the ballot box. Right? And then when we receive it here tonight, we sort those out. We don't count those. That ballot stays in that blue envelope. It's not counted. We review it the next day, and we determine whether that ballot should be counted or not. So in some of the examples that we had individuals who came to a precinct. They insisted they wanted to vote at that precinct even though that they were not registered to vote there. We gave them a provisional ballot, told them that it may not be counted. So when we come back the next day, we look them up, we find where they're registered to vote. If they're not registered to vote in that precinct, then that ballot's not going to be counted. All right, so it's a provisionally that we will accept it, we just review it, and then we will send a letter off to those people that they're not accepted.
So for example, if I lost my wallet while visiting a foreign country, didn't have a driver's license to present, or, that would be a person that might want to vote a provisional ballot.
Possibly. So in that case, that might not be a provisional ballot. That might be an emergency personal affidavit where you can, if we find you on the registration list, and you can sign an affidavit that says, I am who I say I am, basically. And so you're acknowledging that it's against the law to vote if you're not that person.
Did we have much of that? Do you know?
We do have a few of those.
Okay.
Yeah. But the state law requires us to give everybody that option if they don't have ID.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Any other questions for Ben before we move on with the canvassing part of it? Okay.
Okay. So, as we said, what we provided you today are the canvass reports, the tapes from the individual precincts, poll books, and registration list. Let's see. You tell me how you want to proceed. Do you want me to provide you the canvass report to review, or you want to look at procedures and see how you might want
Trying to remember how we did it last time, how you directed us to do it last time, because I know we had somebody read numbers or something, and other people checked them in the books to make sure they'd actually voted. I don't actually remember the procedure, so you're going to have to help us.
Okay.
So there was April Pontrelli, I'm the elections coordinator. On the county canvassing board, on the procedure, so of the 5 members before us, we'll have 1 review the registration list, 1 the result tapes, 1 with the poll books for each precinct, the recap report from each precinct, and then the canvassing documents. Okay. Now there were, the summaries were also put into a Dropbox for the, since some of the reports are quite large, but we do have printed versions too.
Okay. So you could take samples of the poll books and from precincts and look at those to see if they match the number of votes.
And I think that's what we did last time.
Yeah.
So you just have to direct us how to do it.
Okay, so if you want to just give me a precinct, I can find the information, pass it out, and then you can.
Okay. They're by numbers, but I don't have a list of the numbers, and so I don't want to throw out a number and then just be, oh, that was not a precinct.
We could do 0410.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. 5s. 410. The registration list.
Okay, thank you.
And then again, these are the spoiled, I think you asked about the spoiled ballots that were sealed.
Sure.
And then the recap sheet, all those documents are inside there. So if you want to just put name over there or see that it matches the folder.
Okay, so you just read the name out loud?
You can read the name out loud and so this will be the number
Okay,
where they should be on the poll book and it should match.
okay, so it's number 264-10.
264. And what does dash 10 mean? That's their district?
It was the district.
Okay, yep. And did
So-
you want me to read the name, or did you want to read the name that I have listed here? 264, I have Jessica Savannah,
Last name,
C-A-B, and I won't read the rest of it, but yes.
Perfect, that's
Yep,
right.
Okay.
So we're going through the registration list and matching it to the poll book based on the numbers that they are in agreement.
This is sealed, so I don't want to open it.
Nope. But you were asking about the spoiled
Yep, I
ballots. so
appreciate
wanted-
it.
So that is everything from 410 that
Yep,
is
there too.
spoiled. And that would be also a part of recap. Sorry. I'm just using a microphone here.
Carry a microphone.
Yes.
Less I have to do,
The
better.
recap sheet that should be included in. Oh, peak-
According to my book.
It's downstairs.
According to my book, I have 692 voters in this precinct, and so would that be on his recap sheet?
It should be, I believe the recap sheet might be downstairs still
Oh,
in the
so it's not on
auditor's.
that one.
What do you have, Commissioner Bender, for how many people voted?
or would that be at the very last page?
The pink sheet? So so we had, what was the name?
There was 692 voters in my precinct.
Okay, and what was the last name of the
And the
person?
last name is Tanya Jean,
Okay.
starts
so
with a
Jean.
D-A.
And then it should also match the canvas, 600 and,
This is 692-10.
We're talking not precinct 410.
precinct 410. But there's also, she's looking at the district leg too,
Okay.
10.
You should have 692 voters.
District 10? District
410.
15.
Last name was
District
Jean?
410. Yep. Tanya Jean and ends with a D-A. Last name starts with a D-A.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part.
Sorry. Am I making it harder for you? D-A-V, if that helps.
Yep,
She was,
So 692-10,
yes.
we're matched there.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a page for every
Yes.
election.
So this will be the, you have the official canvas report. And then, so this will be for all of the ballots cast for those precincts. Give you that. Let me grab the tapes here. It's 410, correct? That's what you have?
Yes.
410.
410.
So on election day, you have the number 792. Is that that was our last person?
692-10?
692?
Yes.
692-10.
So on here, we have 691.
Oh, because that's for the 10.
So this is our precinct by totals. So how many absentee were cast? How many were done that election day? So the election day number 691. So we're off by one.
Which page am I looking at?
Well, actually, this is by, if you want a specific race, you can check the specific race to what we have on these tabulator report.
And how do you reference that? This says D10, so
Yep, so D10 would be district. So let's see here, the state representative. State representative, so those numbers should.
410 D10. Okay. 203, 155, 199, 186, and 912 for the total. Okay, okay. So that's 410 D10. But you guys were on
692 votes out of this precinct.
And on this sheet we have here for election day. And this is for individual races.
So you have to have a total.
So where do I find that?
That would match the poll book.
In
This-
here.
692.
And this is for all the individual races. To match these precinct numbers. Sorry, all these precinct numbers to match.
So which page?
Which race are you looking?
What, does he have a total, total of 692 votes cast in this precinct? Yes.
In
So that's what
410.
that's what I'm looking for,
But
Dean,
where
is
do I
just
see-
that.
Yeah, I know, I've got 100 pages here. Which page do I look at?
This. So this is a
Okay.
complete recap. This is individual races, so we can compare what we have on the tabulator tapes to the results here.
Yep, and we had 691 and 0410.
And why are we missing one vote then?
Yeah, we will have some, one or two. We're allowed by state statute a error of 5,
Okay,
right? But
okay.
Because, yeah, according to the canvas report, it says ballots cast total 799, which matches the 799 on here.
Yep.
Okay, so that number matches the 799. 108 were absentee. Okay. Okay. Am I,
108 plus minus, or 799 minus 108 is
691?
691. Okay.
And we had 692 listed in our
Yep,
book.
and I had 692 listed here. So one of those may be a spoiled ballot in that blue bag, so. yeah.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Do we want to look at one more?
I'm used to it now, why not?
Yeah, but I think. Oh, okay, yeah, here, I'm gonna give the name so that you're not pulling in it. We are, can we put these away, people, and then I will, I'm just gonna give her a number, and then, so let's do precinct, 4-02. Thank you.
402, we had 671 total votes cast.
And we have to pull them out.
And
111 were absentee for election day ballots at 560.
I'll grab that poll book or the registration list. 4-2.
And what did you say your total was, Dean? 6?
Total was 671.
Okay. Thanks, Kim. I don't remember which one I said. What precinct did I say? 402. Maybe I should have walked down there and grabbed one.
I think I have it here.
4-2.
Yep, there it is.
Manuel Baptist.
So, how are you distributing this?
I was just,
Jean had the big book, so give Jean the big book. Let's at least do our same, so we're totally lost. I think I had that one. Yeah, I had that one. And this one's not open, Ben, so can I open this one?
Yes.
Yes?
That's how you get that.
The other one was opened, so.
That's fine. It seals it so that we're confident that there's no change between the polling location and whether.
Right. All right, Jean, do you want to pull a number?
Yeah.
Well, I could look first and see if I got the same numbers Dean just gave me. He gave me 641. Oh, he gave me 560, and I have 560 cast on the day of the election. Okay? Jean, you want to pull a number?
255.
A Richard H.A.N.?
Yes.
Okay. And Gerald, do you have the one that gives the total number of cast on your sheet too? In precinct 402? I'm not sure.
Recap sheet that we gave you.
559 ballots that were scanned and one express ballot for 560.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I have.
Yep, that's what I have. Do you want to do another one, or?
We can do one more.
Okay.
142.
Nicole, P-E-H.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, are there any more questions? Do you want to pull any more books? Wondering how the commission feels?
Thank you. That is a lot of paper.
Do you want to look at any more? Ben, how long are these records kept for?
22 months.
Any other questions for Ben? And I'm going to open it up for public comment, and you may speak at this point. We get 3 minutes, and Kim is actually using the timer today. Just give her a second to get it pulled up. You can give your name and your county.
Cindy Meyer, Minnehaha County.
Okay, go ahead.
We
Cindy.
ready?
Yep.
Well, you know me well. As a concerned citizen, I am once again coming to make comment during the public comment time. Myself and numerous others have been bringing up concerns regarding the 2020 election over the last 11 months. We've requested public information through FOIA requests. We can't get that. We are told our elections are the gold standard, and evidently we are just supposed to accept that. Well, we don't believe our elections are the gold standard, and therefore we keep watching and analyzing the data. A number of folks were downloading the data from the Secretary of State website on a 5 and 10 minute interval on election night. They were pulling off data by county across the state. As this data has been analyzed, it reveals that several races have been affected by data flips or data drops, and it seems to have happened in Minnehaha County. By data flips or drops, I mean candidates lost votes. And why would that be? To name just a few, Gerald Benega, Joe Kipley, Leah Anderson, Jen Blyenberg, Tom Holmes, Nicole Caldwells, Monet Johnson, David Kuhl, Gary Layton, John Sarda, Steve Kolbeck, Arch Beal, and the list goes on. The drop of votes started around 8 p.m. and continued through the 11 o'clock hour. These people all lost votes. So this may be of particular interest since it happened to one of the county commissioners. Commissioner Benega had 6,298 votes recorded at 10:30, and at 10:40, that vote total changed to 6,220 votes recorded. Commissioner Benega had 78 votes removed in a 10-minute time period. And then at 10:47, a data drop must have happened because the votes recorded was at 10,143. So in 7 minutes, they had 3,923 votes added. So these ES&S machines are known to flip votes and gain or lose ballots. I know that you are all sent the video in regards to the Tripp County hand counting. I know Ben did a presentation here. I don't know if Ben got his information from reading
30 seconds.
the article in the Argus Leader. I talked to the individual myself, and out of a precinct that had 356 ballots, 75 got dropped. That's a difference of 21%. These machines aren't reliable. You canvass the vote, and yet you didn't look at what the machines counted in each of those precincts.
You have 3 seconds.
You should all be asking yourself the question, what happened in this election and the 2020 election? And are you still comfortable with hearing the comment that it was a gold standard of elections when I just told you of the anomalies that happened?
Thank
you.
Any comments or questions? Okay, I need a motion. Consider a motion to certify the results of the November 8th, 2022 general election.
I'll make a motion to certify.
Second.
Go ahead, Commissioner,
I'm going to abstain.
because you're on the ballot. Yep. So I have a motion. Need somebody else to make a second?
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to certify the election, and we need a roll call vote. Is there any comments? Okay, roll call.
Bender.
Aye.
Barth.
Aye.
Karski.
Aye.
Heiberger.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention. With that, is there any non-commission actions?
Madam Chair, I just have a quick item.
Yep.
Just reading in today's update from Dakota Scout that the city of Sioux Falls is looking at changing their rules on Airbnbs here in town. And there's a question as to whether they can collect the hotel tax on that. Now, should we approve one for our county, would we then be able to collect that tax money is my question. Thank you.
Good job. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. So motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion, and a
Second.
second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
April.